What up, what up? Zach Wilson finally had the big game that he and Jets fans have been waiting all season for. His whole career, really. And now, is it too little, too late? Let's talk about it. Okay, so the number 2 overall pick in 2020 from BYU finally put on a performance that was number 2 overall pick worthy. We've been waiting all year for this. Really, all of Zach's career. I mean, we needed to see something like this. It's about dang time. Now, let's talk about why this big game happened, what was different to allow this to happen, and is it going to continue? And what does this mean for the Jets and for Zach Wilson? So first off, why did this happen? Let's take this season as a whole, right? Actually, let's talk about all of Zach Wilson. All right, he's the number 2 overall pick from BYU, going to the Big Apple where the lights cannot get any brighter. All right, you can argue LA, but in football, probably not. The lights don't get any brighter than MetLife Stadium, the New York Jets. And you got to take this boy who really had a great senior year. He had a good junior year, don't get me wrong, but he had a great senior year to get himself to the place that he could be a potential number 2 overall pick. I mean, he wasn't really on anybody's radar for a while. But then that COVID year, things looked a little off. A lot of teams didn't play ball. But BYU was one of those teams, and they played on one loss, maybe 2. There at the end, I can't remember. I remember their big loss to Coastal, and that was a travesty for BYU fans. But they beat a very rough schedule. It wasn't very good. But they played house. Zach Wilson looked very good. Was a Heisman candidate for a little while there. We haven't seen anything like it since. What happened? And my thoughts. This is just my opinion. It's my take, right? This is all we do here. This is no professional opinion. This is just me. All right, this is me spitballing. Zach, like I said, going from BYU, not the biggest school, but not the smallest, okay? And in Utah. Going from Utah, which is if you know the jokes, you know the jokes. Me being from Utah personally, it's a lot different, all right? It's no big city. It's no Chicago. It's no Alabama. It's no Oregon, no Pac-12, no Big Ten. SEC for sure, okay? Different. It's very different. And a little more sheltered of a culture, I would say. But taking that, planting that in New York, that's a huge switch, okay? Any athlete, not just one from Utah, any athlete that goes to New York has pressure immediately. All right, those fans are diehard fans. We love them, okay? They're passionate, right? If you're one of them, I love you. I love your enthusiasm about the game, as you should be. You should be passionate. There's just a lot more of you. That pressure is brighter. That pressure is stronger. You can make a diamond, or you can make it break. So far for Zach Wilson, it's kind of been a bust, right? And that pressure just got to him. All right, he was trying to be that, sheltered little white boy popping out in the NFL, deserving to be that number 2 overall pick as much as you can deserve it, right? He was trying to prove that. He lived with that expectations of number 2 overall pick in New York, and it was just too much. It was too much. The team wasn't very good. The line was horrible in 2020, and the rest of the weapons weren't great behind him either. I mean, Garrett Wilson wasn't there, okay? Sauce Gardner wasn't there. These guys didn't come till another year. All right, when they did come, the team was still not good, okay? I mean, there were flashes here and there, but Zach lost the starting job, right? Mike White comes in, and Mike White did his thing. Zach couldn't hold the job. All right, pressure got to him. It was it. I was done. Sat the bench a little while last season, and then what happens? They talk about how good the New York Jets are. They just are one quarterback away. And how does that make a boy feel, those put a little sad boy hours music on, And then they go ahead and make the big trade for none other but the legendary Aaron Rodgers. Now how's the boy feel? Okay, All right, now he's backup. He can relax, he can chill, but he still has the GOAT right there. He was gonna make the boys' life hell, right? He was gonna make the starters' life hell. Yeah, no, that didn't happen with Aaron Rodgers. He learned from Aaron Rodgers. He accepted a lot of things, I think, and we saw some of those flashes when he got the chance when Aaron Rodgers went down 4 plays into the season this year. We saw some of that. Okay, he had a decent game against the Bills in that week 1. He had a decent game a couple times in the season, especially against the Chiefs. Gave them a run for the money on Sunday Night Football. You know, he had some flashes here and there. Not much, not enough. Definitely not enough. Okay, it always, and if you watch my videos, you know I was always like, man, Zach is just like this close to making a breakthrough year, and he just didn't. It was just so close all the time. I just felt like he was about there, and then he just kept letting everyone down. So they benched him. What other choice did Robert Saleh have? He didn't. I think this was a great move. He said, all right, Tim Boyle, you get your chance. All right, we made some switches. Zach Wilson got demoted to 3rd string quarterback. And I don't know what happened behind closed doors. Trevor Siemian never really got much of a shot. He got a little bit of a shot, but not much of a shot. Zach Wilson gets made the starter again this week. Okay, all right. Short notice. He must have been putting in some effort at practice. Something must have sparked coach. Say, okay, give Zach another shot. So they did. They gave Zach another shot. And really, in my mind, what I think this is it's a little too late for the playoffs now. All right? The Tim Boyle move was to maybe strike something, ignite a push towards the playoffs, and then, you know, they can ride that out. Aaron Rodgers will come back, they'll go in to win the playoffs, and they'll go do their thing, right? That just didn't happen. It didn't happen. Tim Boyle wasn't the answer. All right, they didn't get past midfield against the Dolphins in his first start on Black Friday. It just didn't happen. So now Zach Wilson comes back in because why not? Tim Boyle wasn't the answer. Zach definitely has more potential. I mean, it's there. It just can't put the pieces together. Rodgers probably has a play in this as well, I would assume. But this is what really made the difference in this week's game. There was a quote by Zach Wilson, I might pull it up now, and he said, "What's the worst thing that could happen? I get benched again?" My man played free. He played loose. He didn't play like there was a care in the world. He got rid of all the pressure. He came out and he threw a stat line of 27 for 36 completions, 301 yards, an 8.4 average, which is very good, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and ran for 12 yards as well. That's really good. You know, he did have the 1 fumble. That kind of hurt. We got to limit that. He really, really needs to, especially behind this line, the next thing he needs to pick up from Aaron Rodgers is that pocket presence. He doesn't really seem to have much. You know, he can do an okay job at scrambling. We've seen that from time to time, but he just doesn't have the sense to step up into the pocket when needed, you know, to roll out the correct way, to make the right reads inside the pocket. And that's what we really need to see a step from for Zach Wilson. But he played free. He played loose. He made some throws that he didn't even attempt before. Exhibit A is that cross-body throw, you know, and a couple touchdowns that later he got some swagger to him. He brought himself back. 300 yards. That's a good game, young bud. And don't sleep on it, okay? All right, that's good for Zach. That's got to be a huge confidence builder. I'm excited to see what he does this week 3. You know, he did it, or next week. I'm excited to see what he does next week as well, kind of build on top of it. He did it against the Texans defense, which isn't bad. It's not the greatest in the league, but it's not horrendous. So we'll see what he does. It's just too little, too late scenario. The Jets are sitting at 5-8. Most of the AFC is in a very close battle at 7-6 for that wild card. That 5-8 record is actually tied for 2nd worst in the conference, only beating the in-division Patriots, who only have 3 wins this season. So we'll see what it goes. And, you know, it's just fun to see Zach swinging the ball. They still have a tough road ahead. Could they make the playoffs? Very unlikely. There's a mathematical chance, of course, but they got the Dolphins up next. They're coming off those losses to the Titans, so we'll see. I mean, I think Mike McDaniel's team is going to have a little bit of swagger, bounce back, and get the dub when they need to. And, but they got Washington, Cleveland, and New England next, so those are very winnable games. It's going to be a tough look on Zach Wilson on the Browns. We know that defense is nice, but the Commanders' defense hasn't been great, and of course the Patriots hasn't been amazing either. So, he's got some more chances to flash some more stuff. Maybe get himself a job elsewhere. Maybe secure himself a number 2 spot behind Rodgers for a little bit longer in New York, and then get the chance when Rodgers says it's time to be done. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know exactly what to make of this, what to take of it. I'm just excited. I'm not even a big Zach Wilson fan. I'm not. I don't know. I just want to see this boy succeed for whatever reason. And he did just that here in week 14. And let's see if he can keep it rolling. But I appreciate the love. I know it's been a minute since I made a video. I got myself married. You see that right there? It was awesome. Had a nice little honeymoon. Had some... as you can see, I switched up the setup. I moved a process getting that all set up. So I appreciate the love. Appreciate y'all watching these videos. Hopefully I can be more consistent here and figure some things out. Because the quality of my videos have not been very good as of late. And that was really frustrating. I don't know if it's my computer or editing or whatever. I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out too. So I appreciate the love. Appreciate y'all staying with me. If you're new around here, subscribe, fellas. But peace out for now.